I'm going to make an Eton mess with blackberries and spicy pears, and it is a fantastic dessert. It's one of those things people often say, oh, what do you do if unexpected visitors come round? And this, I guess, is what I do. It's my emergency dessert. That's if I like them. They get Eton mess. Whew. Right, OK, that's our whipped cream. Now, for all the bits that go in the cream to make the Eton mess. These are meringues. Yes, they are shop-bought, before anybody tells me that. But that's because it's an emergency dessert. You'll always keep a few of these in the cupboard, and you've always got a dessert at your fingertips. That's the way I look at it. So a meringue per person, at least. And as I'm actually going to serve this to my family, I'm going to put a meringue and a half in, at least, because they're all going to eat Eton mess. The meringue is the sweetening bit, but it's also the texture. It's a really, really important part. You want the crunch. Right, we'll put that over there, because next of all, I'm going to chop some pears. Now, these pears have poached in a sugar syrup, and all that is sugar and water, equal amounts. We call it a stock syrup in the kitchen. Just take each side of the pear away from the core, and then cut them down into, you know, fairly small bits, actually, not too large. Right, there's our pears. Now for the blackberry bit. And you could just throw them in, but actually the whole point of an Eton mess is it kind of combines in a sort of a broken down way. So I'm just going to break the blackberries as I put them in so that their juices sort of leak out into the meringue and the cream, which I think is quite an important part. There we go. Of course, a classic Eton mess would be strawberries, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with an Eton mess made with cream, strawberries and meringue, but it's quite fun to play around with different flavours. Right, time for a bit of spice. This is cinnamon here. Going to add a bit of that. I think if spice works with apple, it'll probably work with pears, so cinnamon is a goer here. Just going to sprinkle a little bit of that in, not too much, that'll do. And then this is ground mixed spice, again, classic sort of apple pie flavouring. Right, it's the cream moment. So we get our whipped cream, and you don't hold back, right? This is not the sort of dish that you feed to your dieting best friend who needs to lose 12 kilos for their wedding in July and all that rubbish. And you want to keep it... The cream, I didn't over-whip the cream, kept it fairly loose, because that's one of the joys of an Eton mess. It's quite moist. Right, just turn that all over, too. Now, the final tip, really, with Eton mess is don't leave it to stand, because obviously those meringues are going to absorb the moisture all the time, and you don't want them to get too soggy. You want that balance of dry, crispy meringues and very wet cream and fruit. So just take out a bit, stick it into a trifle glass or something like that, pile it in, and I reckon a lunchtime involving, I think, one of the nicest cooked cheeses, deep-fried Montenegro cheese, followed by a paella, followed by my emergency Eton mess dessert, I reckon you've got yourself a good time.